Good morning, everybody. It's Friday. How are we doing? Sam here, live on United People's TV. And I said it's Friday once. I'll say it's Friday again. How are we all doing? Manchester Derby tomorrow, just over 24 hours. Another early kickoff on the. It's like they're trying to ruin our weekends. Is it all or nothing for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? I do believe it is. I'm going to be running through the latest articles, the latest updates from journalists on whether or not it is all or nothing for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But after the Liverpool game last weekend, after the 5-0 humiliation, Solskjaer, it was touted as a stay of execution. It was touted as 3 games to save his job. We beat Spurs 3-0 last weekend. Sorry, I was Liverpool's 2 weeks ago. I've already blanked it from my memory. And then we had Atalanta midweek. It was a game where largely United were poor, I would say, arguably, and we came up with the goods at the end. I say we, Cristiano Ronaldo came up with the goods at the end, and now we've got City. Man United might not have lost in the last 4 derbies, but I tell you what, it's going to be a nervy game on Saturday. And because it's Friday, you know what happens on a Friday. It's hyper interactive day. First of all, we're going to get the interactive map up. Second of all, we're going to announce the winner for this. The first Ronaldo shirt we're giving away, one every single week between now and Christmas. I'm giving away on the channel. Perfect present for everybody. Also going to be announcing another giveaway. My God, a 210k giveaway. And going to be opening up the first thing that's come to. I haven't opened it, by the way. I've just opened a little top bit. I don't actually know what's in there, Ian. Opening the first thing that's been sent into the PO box. As I said, add your own part to the studio. I'm going to be building a shelf there. Going to maybe put a little table there. Boop, boop. And it's my way of allowing you to contribute to the studio. You can help build it with me. But how are you all doing? Azil, you're asking how I'm doing. Thank you very much. I'm doing well. We've got Grant watching from York. Good morning to you. Afonso watching from Manchester. Who else we got down here? We have got Meet back. Good morning to you, buddy. Good morning, Sam. Today is New Year Day. Oh, it's Diwali, isn't it? Congrats to everyone celebrating that. I hope you have a fantastic couple of days with your family. But tomorrow is the derby. How are you all feeling ahead of the derby, eh? There's always a nervous tension going into these bigger games. Always a nervous tension. There was a huge nervous tension going into last weekend, 2 weekends ago, against Liverpool. And that was, let's be honest, proved correct because we got pumped 5-0. And now we've got that same nervous energy going in to this game against Guardiola's City. It's a bit... Could the same thing happen again? Absolutely, the same thing could happen again. I don't think it will. I think United will set up in that 3-5-2. I think we will be a far more solid team than we were in the opening 10-15 minutes against Liverpool, where we tried to do some pressing system and just got pulled apart. Joseph, you're asking how I'm doing and saying you're nervous about the game. I think everyone's nervous. Everyone's massively, massively nervous. It's a dangerous time for Manchester United. It's a dangerous time for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. As I said right down there, the Manchester derby, it really is all or nothing. Because if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, in my own opinion, I don't personally think that result tomorrow changes anything in the grand scheme of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's long-term future at Manchester United. I think he will be replaced. I think he will be sacked. Now, whether or not that happens after Saturday, that does depend on the result. And if we head over here and we look at what the news is saying, that's exactly what is being said. Paul Hurst here from the Times saying that obviously Raphael Varane being out is going to be a big, big problem for Manchester United. What's your reaction to that? Do you think that Manchester United have got a chance without Raphael Varane in the team? Do you think that maybe we'll play Maguire, Bailly and Lindelof? Is that probably going to be our back three against City? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will obviously have his press conference this afternoon. Maybe I'll do a press conference reaction to that again. Not that many of you joined in, but I suppose that's when there's already other channels and already other people doing those press conference reactions. Everyone's a bit busy watching those, so I kind of understand that. Forrest, you're asking why do I think Bailly is going to start? I think Bailly absolutely will start this game. I think he absolutely will start this game. And he absolutely should as well. He was phenomenal against Atalanta and proved that it was a slight mistake to overlook him for the Leicester game, at least. So Varane's out for a month. And I said this on Twitter, and I absolutely stand by it. I think it was verging on idiotic decision. Why does that sound so weird? Idiotic. Anyway, Solskjaer was an idiot for playing Varane against Atalanta. He was not in my preferred starting 11. He shouldn't have been anywhere near that defense, considering it was starting 2 games in 4 days, having spent 3 weeks out injured. It was, and I know that people said it yesterday. You were like, Sam, it was a hamstring injury rather than the groin injury that ruled him out. And I was like, yeah, cool. But if you're not 100% fit, then you're more likely to expose yourself to other injuries, because those muscles and tendons and ligaments are all going to be slightly less strong because of those couple of weeks you spent out injured. So his hamstring wouldn't have been at 100% prior to getting that hamstring injury. That's why I said it was a massive problem. And it was an idiotic decision, which backfired miserably. And now we've got Varane out for another month, same as last time. 2 weeks of it is going to be the international break. That serves United a bit well. And that kind of helps United a little bit. But it's still going to be dodgy. Dodgy as hell without Rafael Varane in that team. Sorry, against Man City. Reggio, you're saying it will really test Maguire to take responsibility of the defence and if he deserves to wear the armband. Mate, yeah. It shouldn't be like that. We should have far more confidence in our own captain than we do have in our own captain. All of us going into that game against Man City, we're like, Maguire, is he really going to lead that defence? Is Maguire really going to be the person that could lead it? It's odd. It's the situation that we're in. Maguire's form has been trash this season. Absolutely trash. So is Luke Shaw's. So is many players. Both of them. I think there's quite a lot of players. If you look in the Premier League overall, quite a lot of players are really struggling after Euro 2020. And I think that's because, let's be honest, it was an exhausting season last season with the amount of football that had to get crammed in a shorter period of time because of the coronavirus and everything that changed in the footballing schedule, and then going straight into the Euros and then going straight into a Premier League season. I'm not surprised that the players are feeling fatigue. I'm not surprised that there's a lot of players, not every player, like Declan Rice, for example, is a player who has come through last season, come through the Euros and come into this season, and he's probably looking better. But there are a lot of players who are dipping in form, and Maguire and Shaw are certainly two of those. Rory, you're saying if one muscle or tendon is weak, then other muscles or tendons have to work harder to compensate. It's exactly the point I'm trying to make there, Rory. And that, for me, is why it was a very, very odd and strange decision to start Varane twice in 4 days, considering we've got the Manchester derby here coming up. Maybe that means that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer prioritised that game against Atalanta rather than the City game, which would be a surprise if he did that. Josh, you're saying that Conte won his first game last night 3-2. They did. It was absolutely mental. What was there? 5 goals, 2 red cards, 3 red cards, all over the shop. But Spurs, they're going to be happy because they don't have Nuno Espirito Santo anymore, and they've got Antonio Conte. But fair play. It was a bit of a mad game. Gary, you're saying super confident here, saying I reckon we'll batter City tomorrow. Hey, look, this is the thing about United, right? This is the thing. You just can't rule that sort of United performance coming through tomorrow, and that's probably the most frustrating thing about all of it. You just do not know when you go to watch a Manchester United game what you are about to watch. You have no idea whether you're going to turn up and watch United breeze through and beat Leeds 5-1, or turn around and use the momentum of the crowd and dominate Newcastle 4-1, or lose 1-0 to Aston Villa, or draw 1-1 to Everton. There's so many. It's crazy. It's crazy, the up and down nature of Manchester United's form. And that's the feeling going into this derby. All of us are expecting the worst, right? Fearing the worst. That might be a better word to describe it. We're all fearing the worst against City, but we just can't rule Manchester United out of dominating the game, of coming out of nowhere. Everyone playing like we did against Spurs. No one really expected that. Well, okay, right, you can do it. We know we can do it, and we have done it against City in the last 4 derbies. It is what it is. Right, before I move on, let's start announcing the giveaways. So what I've done, as I said, we're giving away a shirt. I say we, I mean me. Giving away a Cristiano Ronaldo shirt, one of these, every single week between now and Christmas. Actually, probably New Year's. Maybe even after New Year's. I don't know. But lots of you have entered this week. The way you enter is to become a supporter of the channel. It's your way of supporting United People's TV, helping us get bigger and better. And it's my way of giving back to all of you as a thank you. So I've gone through, I've looked at all the members on YouTube. I've looked at all the members on Facebook. I've added all of you to it. I swear to God, I've done this randomly. I haven't just chosen. And I've come up with, let me find a name here. It's going to be the first winner is going to be Luke Hayes from Facebook. So, Luke, if you're watching here, congratulations, buddy. You, sir, have won the first CR7 shirt of the season. Actually, no, not the first one. I've done another separate giveaway, but this is the first of these weekly giveaways. So that's going to Luke Hayes on Facebook. Congratulations to you, sir. I'm going to drop you a message after this live stream. I'll get your address. I'll get it sent out to you. But big congratulations to yourself. And announcing another giveaway. Oh, God. Jeez. Another one. Look at that. Numero dos. What's that? Medium. Very nice. Very nice indeed. This is the other ones. We've got one there. Got one here. So we may have announced one, but there's another one straight away. So everybody who didn't win it last week, you're all automatically entered into maybe winning it this week. If you want to be involved and you haven't got involved, hit the support now button on Facebook, become a member. If you're on YouTube, hit that join button down below and become a member of the family. Not only do you get a chance to win one of those every single week between now and New Year's, you also get access to the members only WhatsApp group. You get your comments read out as a priority in all of these live streams. You get the chance to jump on screen with me in the United Legacy Arms in the 1 hour match build-up show for every game. Honestly, it's big. I'm really liking the community that we're building here. It's good fun. And Matthew, you're saying, is it only new members that can win? No, every single member. So you're entered into every single draw as well, Matt. I thought it'd be unfair for me to just give the opportunity to new members. It's a bit like when you go and try and get a good deal at BT and they're like, oh no, we're going to give like about 60% off to new customers, but not people who have been our customer for like 3 years. I don't think that's fair. So I do it to every single member on the channel. So big up to you, Luke. Congratulations. I will, as I said, reach out to you and get your address and get it sent out to you. But congrats. Let me go down to the comments here and see what you're saying. Kathy, you're saying great touch. Thank you very much, Kathy. I've just become a supporter, says Chris. Good luck to you then, Chris. Maybe you can win it next one. Matt, am I doing the map? Yeah, you're damn right I'm doing the map. It's Friday, mate. Come on. The map will be up soon. So remember, throughout the entire stream, ladies and gents, you need to leave your comments of where you're watching from, the town you're watching from, and the country, and I'll try and add you onto the fabled map. Anuj, good to see you this morning, buddy. Top of the morning to you. Oh, you're Irish as well. I didn't know that. Bai will be man of the match tomorrow. I'm pretty confident about tomorrow's game. Let's steamroll the noisy neighbours. Hey, let's find out. Let's find out how Manchester United are going to play tomorrow. It's the early kickoff. Don't ruin my weekend, please. Please, United. Do not ruin my weekend. The early kickoffs are just so dangerous, aren't they? 12:30. You're there. You're like excited about watching. You know, oh yeah, cool football at the weekend. And then before the 3 o'clock kickoff, you're like, that's crap. That's absolutely crap. Is what it is. Look at that. A couple of members joining in here. I'm going to add a couple of members on. Why not? Perth, Australia. Jonas, good morning to you, sir. Welcome aboard to the members club. You can get added onto the fabled map. I think we've already got Perth, Australia on here. Oh, no. Your session has expired. Please log in. Okay. What happens on live streams, doesn't it? Let me go back over here. Here we go. Adding Perth, Australia to the map. Oh, no, that's the wrong thing. Jeez, I'm not doing very well here this morning. Perth, Western Australia. On you go, sir. Welcome aboard to the map. Nice to have you on here, as always. And we've got Mika. There you go. Look, Mika watching. Look, you're working in Norway and Turnsberg, but you're from Gothenburg in Sweden. Well, I'll put Gothenburg down. We don't want to put your work down, do we? Welcome aboard from Sweden. So we've got Sweden and Australia there. That's the thing I like most about everything we're doing here on United People's TV. It's crazy. It's like we've got two right there, one from Perth in Western Australia and one from Sweden. It's wicked, isn't it? Reds all around the world. But tomorrow, how are you feeling about tomorrow? What's your expectations about tomorrow? Do you honestly think, let me know in the comments, do you honestly think that there is a chance that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is sacked tomorrow if the result doesn't go Manchester United's way? Now, as we've seen, all the reports suggest, they're saying Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it depends which reports you read. There were some that said that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had been given 3 games to save his job: Spurs, Atalanta, and City. There were other reports that saying that this was merely a stay of execution for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and that the results didn't really matter. The decision was already made up about his job. In my own personal opinion, I don't think any of these games really truly matter in terms of saving Solskjaer's future. I saw these 3 games as Manchester United's board taking the opportunity to hang Solskjaer out to dry publicly, let him take whatever stick is going to come his way in these next 3 games, and use this time to start planning for what's coming next. That was my own personal opinion. Let me see what you think in the comments. Ozzy, you're saying it depends on the performance. Let's go up here and see what else you're saying. 3-1 City and Ole's not getting sacked. No way on earth the Glazers are making too much money, says Nigel. And Syed, you're saying no, I don't think so. Paul, you don't think so either. Mike, you're saying he's going to stay until the end of the season. And Richard, you're saying, yeah, you think he can get sacked. I think the situation that Manchester United face right now is, if we were going to go for Conte, we would have gone for Conte. Conte would be our manager. Simple as that. The board didn't have a complete unanimous agreement on him and whether he was the right manager for Manchester United. And I'll be completely honest, I shared those same reservations as a fan. So we cannot be too surprised that the club did not move for Conte. Simple as that. And if we wanted him, we would have got him easily. So Conte is out the question. Now, Zinedine Zidane is another name that's going to get banded around, that gets discussed. Now, this is the first report that's come out, and this report is not mega reliable. So I'm not going to be, I don't know. I'm not going to be saying it's gospel, but this is what's coming out of Spain. Zinedine Zidane has rejected United as he's waiting for the United or the France job. He likes United. Do you think there's any chance that it could be Zidane? Let's have a little conversation about it. I'll be honest, I haven't really talked much about Zinedine Zidane because I haven't really been looking at it as as a viable option. That was my own opinion. Dyer saying, I'm reading comments from YouTube. Don't worry, buddy. I'm reading comments from Facebook as well. I read comments from all of them. And Sam, you're saying it all depends on what's been agreed for January transfers. This is an interesting take. I don't think Manchester United are that good at planning, though, are they? But Zinedine Zidane, what do you think about Zidane? Do you think there's any chance? Because if you're looking at, I suppose, elite level managers who are available right now, Zidane is the only one who stands out now. Conte was another one. Conte jarred too much for Manchester United. But Zidane is available. And he's been out of work for a while now, since leaving Real Madrid for the second time. And for a lot of people, they would like Zinedine Zidane. But would you like Zinedine Zidane? That's an interesting question. Let me go down here. I mean, Ozzy, don't sit on the fence or anything. You're saying fuck Zidane. You do not want Zidane. And Mike, you're saying, I don't think Zidane is right for United. Chris, you're saying Zidane had a ready-made team. No way. With Zidane, ready-made teams, how about a squad that's got Bruno, Pogba, Rashford, Ronaldo, Varane, Maguire, Shaw, De Gea? I would say Manchester United do have a ready-made squad. Let me go up here. Football Red Devils, you're saying Zidane is a good shout. Anna's, you're saying no. Is that news about Zidane true, says Louise? As I'm saying, I'm not coming here as a gospel. I'm saying this is what some reports are saying. This is not in any way, shape, or form is this reliable, but it's just leading to a conversation and a talking point. All the actual stories that I've been seeing about Zidane is that he's distanced himself away from the Manchester United job, that he's sort of kept himself in the shadows. Hasn't really been. You saw when Conte was linked with the job, it was all coming from Italy. It was all coming from his side of the PR fence, if you want to call it that. That Conte wanted the United job. That Conte was ready to move to the Premier League, and at the same time as that, the complete opposite was being said about Zinedine Zidane. Let me head down and read a few more of your comments out here. Zidane, no way, says Paul. Ralph, you're saying Zidane is a proven cup winner. And Rory, you're saying, considering Zidane doesn't really want to come to England, it makes sense to pay him a bunch of money to manage it the rest of the season and properly plan for next summer. That raises another interesting question. Do you think there's any chance that Zidane would come to United on an interim job then? And is there any chance that Zidane would come in and manage until the end of the season? I don't personally think there would be, but that's an interesting contract. Gunshi, nice to see you on a Friday morning, sir. Thank you very much for your super chat. As always, supporting the channel all the way from Taiwan. You're saying, I don't think he will be sacked so soon, Sam. I just can't see it. Who can they bring in at this point? You'd expect City to win tomorrow, but we have some great players and the ultimate wild card himself in Cristiano Ronaldo. He's done it against Villarreal. He's done it against Atalanta twice. 2 winners and an equaliser in the Champions League. Mr. Champions League, indeed. Can he do it for Manchester United against City? We can all hope so. And you can't rule it out. You cannot rule it in the same way that you can't rule Manchester United beating City out. You can't rule Cristiano Ronaldo dominating and scoring. Chris, you're saying, I doubt he would come in on an interim basis. Zidane won't take the interim job there. You're saying that. No way. Let's have a look. Gary Neville for manager. Ole is tactically bankrupt. Okay. Zidane could be the best option. Zidane is better than Ole because he can't just sit on chairs. I'm sitting on a chair. I'm wrong with sitting on a chair. Craig, you're saying I think Zidane would get the best out of our midfield considering how he elevated Casemiro into one of the best midfielders. Yeah, yes and no. I think the thing I find so strange about Manchester United's midfielders is if you look at Manchester United's coaching staff, Kieran McKenna, he might not have had a long career. He was a midfielder. Michael Carrick, he was a midfielder. Darren Fletcher, he was a midfielder. Mike Phelan, he was a midfielder. I find it very strange that our midfielders really are not kind of improving at all, considering everything naturally good with our coaching staff is all about midfield. Very odd that. Very, very odd indeed. Zidane won't come, says Reggio, and there's too many British players for Zidane. I don't really think that's anything true at all. And Mushtaik is saying Zidane's not a proven manager. The Premier League is different to La Liga. Of course it is, but you can't prove yourself until you work inside that environment. So I don't think that's ever really a reason to rule a player out, to rule a manager out. There's perfect examples of both, of players coming into the league and dominating straight away. Like Anthony Martial coming from Liga straight away as an 18, 19-year-old, dominated. Someone like Luis Suarez came from the Eredivisie, dominated. And then there's other players that come and struggle. Really struggle. And there's managers in the same way. You can't rule them out simply because of that. If Zidane coaches, he would sign Casemiro. I don't think Real Madrid are going to let Casemiro go in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, as I said to you, and I've said a few times this week already, it's quite easy for us, in my opinion, it's quite easy to look at the long-term manager that we all want for Manchester United. I'm going to be doing some content on him next week, and that's Erik ten Hag. And I'll explain that in more detail. I won't go into too much detail about Ten Hag. We spoke about him yesterday. But what's more difficult is, okay, if Ten Hag happens, hypothetically, and I think that's going to happen in the summer, I don't think he would walk away from Ajax mid-season. The reason I would say that is he's worked his socks off since getting to that Champions League semi-final in 2018-19 to get Ajax back to this point. Why would he turn around and walk away from that when he's worked so hard to get there himself? He won't do that. I wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that. If you have been working on something for years and years and years, 3 years, in fact, 3 years, and you've got to that point where everything's working now, even if like the bigger company came in, offered you a massive pay rise, you say, yeah, I'll take that job in the summer. You would dictate to them. So I'd be very surprised if he came in. So in that sense, the more difficult question is what happens between now and May. Because we've got what? November, December, January, February, March. We've got 7 months left of football this season. And that concept of the interim manager is a far, far, far more difficult conversation to have. I think I'm going to be looking at that next week. I think I'll do that as well. Regardless, really, in my opinion, of what happens against City, I think we should still be looking and having discussions about what could happen as an interim manager for the rest of the season. Who could it be? Because as I said to you before, I didn't consider myself disrespectful in what I did with my video looking at how Antonio Conte could set Manchester United up, because I said, look, the club might not be planning for the future, but it doesn't mean that we can't have a conversation about it. I think the same thing could be said if we were going to look at interim managers, whether that's, I see Laurent Blanc's name getting messaged quite a lot. I see Ryan Giggs' name. I see Mike Phelan. You've got Michael Carrick. There are lots of different names, and I don't really know which one would be suited to Manchester United the most, but you can keep letting me know as the comments. And Rory, you're saying exactly, a Zidane appointment gives United a real opportunity to play long-term whilst maintaining a high-level manager in the interim. But for a manager of Zinedine Zidane's quality in terms of, mate, he's won back-to-back Champions Leagues. Why would he want to come in and basically be a doormat for Manchester United to walk on whilst we just make our long-term plans? I don't think that would really suit Zinedine Zidane. Why would he do that? I'm not sure. Before I head on, let's try and hit a milestone today. Where are we near? Right. Let's see if we can get to, sod it, let's get to 210, 400 by the end of the day. End of the live stream. Are there 70 of you watching right now that aren't subscribed? Hit that subscribe button. Get involved. And as always, as I said, join, become a member. Get entered into the draw. Like Luke Hayes, he's just won himself a CR7 shirt. Hope you enjoy that, Luke. And there's going to be plenty more, one every single week between now and the new year. So you want to be part of the United People's TV community, hit that subscribe button. Get involved. Let's see if we can get 400 by the end of the stream. So 70 of you, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Get involved. And before I move on quickly, let's open this. So this is the first thing. Ian, big up to you, sir. This is the first thing that's been sent to the PO box. I don't know what it is, but let's find out. And let's see if Let's see if we're allowed to put this on the stream. Put it in the studio. I don't know what it's going to be. That was a really weird noise I just made there. Oh, I love polystyrene. Oh, polystyrene everywhere. Oh, God. That's me having to do a tidy up after this. Fancy it? Now, that is an absolute corker. It's basically Mike Phelan. So Ian has sent in Mike Phelan to become part of the studio. We've got a new mascot here on United People's TV. You can let me know in the comments now. What's his name? Right? What's his name? So this is the first thing that's been sent into this. He's got a little badge on. He's got a little United badge on. Look at him. Look how happy he is. Look how happy he is. Right. That's the first thing sent in. So that'll become part of the studio. When I build, I'm going to build a shelf up there. He's going to take pride of place. What's his name? We've got a new mascot here on United People's TV. And I think actually, if I'm correct, I think Amazon might have messed up the deliveries. And sent a second one. So we've got another giveaway to do. We've got another giveaway to do. Right. So we've got a little give. So I'll do that. And there you go. I'll do that as part of the 210,000. Look, you cannot say that I don't treat you well here on United People's TV. As I said, when we hit 210,000, let me pull the mic back here. Let me look at the names here. Let me go through a few of the names here. Got Santa Phelan. Oh geez, Santa Phelan, Santa Alex McFred, Headmaster Phelan. He looks like a glazer. You got Chich after Chicharito, United Mike. It could be Mike Smalling. Oh yeah, I like Mike Smalling. Harry Redknapp. I'm not sure Harry Redknapp goes down. I literally just went to the toilet and you opened it. Well, that's just bad timing, sir. Rule number 1, never go to the toilet during the live stream. Mikey Phelan, Santa Mike. Everybody, you are bad at unboxing, Sam. Yeah, I am bad at unboxing. That's what happens when it's polystyrene everywhere. It's not my fault. But yeah, as part of the 210K giveaway, I'm now going to give away the spare one that came. Also, this is a corker. This is a 1996 home shirt. Absolute perler. Look at that. Look at that. And the thing I love about this shirt is if you look, can you see? I'm not sure if you can see the detail. It's got Old Trafford on the kit. See it? Just like, oh, there it is. You can see it there. It's all down to the lighting. Beautiful. So this is going to be part of the giveaway for 210,000 subscribers. Going to give that away. Going to give a lovely garden gnome away. And also going to give away one of those. See a framed United People's TV logo? That's going to be the 210K giveaway. I don't know what I'm going to do as the entry mechanic for it, but that's going to be the giveaway, all right? So not only are we giving away a Ronaldo CR7 shirt to every member. Well, not every member. Jesus Christ, it's a lot of shirts. Every member who is a member gets entered into the draw to win that. We've also got this 210K giveaway. I'll let you know on Monday the mechanic for entering into that because I don't actually know quite yet. But it's beautiful. It is beautiful. Mo, I love that. I love that shirt as well. It's one of my favorites. I bought it for myself, but no, I'm going to give it to you now. And Gungshi, you're saying, I swear to God, I was just riding. I bet it's a garden gnome. It is a garden gnome. It is a garden gnome. But look at him. Look how happy he is. What's the best Man United related gnome pun that you can think of? That's going to be his name. I'll tell you what, everybody send in your gnome names to my Twitter account. At SamPeoples_. That's my Twitter account. Tweet me or DM me all your names, right? And I'll choose one of them from those tweets. So if you want to be in with the chance of naming that little thing, send it to me on Twitter. Oh, that was distracting. So many giveaways. I forgot what I was doing. But big up to you, Ian. Thank you very much for sending in the garden gnome. The first thing to the PO box. As I said, if you want to have anything that become part of the studio, send it in, man. It's cool. It's my way of making you a closer part of the studio, a closer part of United People's TV. And I'm going to build a shelf there. I might put a table there to put all the stuff on that we're going to be getting sent in. It's good. Berber claws. I'm not sure about that one. You need a better one. There's no place like Nome. It's a really bad name. Can't stand these conversation clickbaits. There's no way Zidane will go to the UK. 100% no way to any club. So forget the chat. I mean, it doesn't mean we can't have the chat about it, mate. Jeez. Cantona, Jemba. Honestly, Jemba was the first name that came to my head. I have no idea why. But Sergio Nomio. Oh, God. No, oh, my God. Right. Everybody think about these buns before you fire them in. Send them in to me on Twitter, and then we can run through them. But let's get back to the news. Let's get back to the stories. Now, Manchester United have got the derby tomorrow. And what's squad morale saying? How do you think the squad is feeling going into this game? Do you think they're confident they can put a result against City? Do you think they're fearful they're going to get pumped again like we did against City? How do you think the squad is feeling? Manchester United squad, they went out to lunch yesterday for a team bonding meal at an Italian restaurant with Solskjaer, with keen to lift his squad's mood ahead of the game. And this was a picture from that meal yesterday by, who's that? By McTominay, Henderson, Ronaldo, Fred, Telles, Matic. I don't know who that is next. Who is that between Matic and Cavani? Am I being stupid? I don't know who that is. Don't know who that is sneaking at the back. That's De Gea, Dalot, Varane, Heaton, Maguire, Van der Beek, and Ahmed. So obviously, Solskjaer's trying to do something to help these lads feel like a bit. I don't know. It's. I'm not going to say it's a desperate move because it's an absolutely fine thing to do. It's just going out for lunch. But United need something different against this City team, right? Because City have just cruised past Bruges. 4-1, I think it was. City looked dominant. City looked fantastic. And United are going to struggle against City. They're going to dominate the ball. We know that. We need to stay in our shape. We know that as well. I'll run through all the tactics and all that. I'll keep that for tomorrow for the pre-game show. So make sure you come to the United Legacy Arms. Going to open up probably about 20 past 11 a.m. tomorrow. Early drinking because it's an early kickoff. But make sure you come in there too. Now, this is a really important thing that I want to discuss here on this stream. I've spoken about Manchester United's coaching staff in quite a lot of detail. We've all had conversations about it. We've all had and said our piece on Kieran McKenna, on Michael Carrick, on Mike Phelan, on Darren Fletcher, and on the inexperience that exists behind Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is learning on the job. So is every one of Manchester United's coaches. And Kieran McKenna's qualities as a coach have been called into question quite a lot. Now, there's an article that came out yesterday from James Ducker, which offered the most insight into Kieran McKenna that there has been. I thought it was a really fascinating article. What I want to do here with you is run through the key points that he raised here, because I think I've probably been a little bit guilty of character assassination of Kieran McKenna. But he clearly is not capable of the job. And I've just said that without any real, I'm kind of making assumptions. What I wanted to do here is sort of level the playing field out a little bit. So James Ducker here, meet Kieran McKenna, the rookie Manchester United coach entrusted with teaching the biggest names in football. How a high-pressure job at one of the biggest clubs on the planet fell into the lap of a 35-year-old with a background in academy football. And what I'm going to do is pull out the key points here that he raises and the key points he discusses. Now, McKenna, as we all know, was brought through by Jose Mourinho. Mourinho was struck by the young coach who would wander over to the first-team pitches at Carrington to study his training methods and later incorporate them into his own sessions with the under-18s team. Go down here, and Mourinho was impressed early on by McKenna's aptitude and obsessive nature. And the comparisons came through there about Kieran McKenna representing a sort of a young Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers obviously worked with Mourinho at Chelsea. He also had managerial stints, I believe was it Reading, Swansea, and maybe Watford too. So Brendan Rodgers has obviously gone on to do great things. And clearly the sort of obsessive nature of McKenna was something that reflected well on Mourinho. However, even Mourinho could scarcely have imagined the responsibility that would soon be entrusted on such young, inexperienced shoulders. And this is a concern that every single United fan has had the entire way through about him. Now let's go down here. And this is a very crucial and key point. As those who know McKenna well point out, it was not a job that anyone in his position was realistically going to turn down. Say you're at work, I don't know, you're on the 30 grand a year doing your job that you're comfortable in, you're very good at. Out of nowhere, this role 3 tiers above you on 120 grand a year gets offered to you. You're not really experienced in that role. You think you know partly what you need to do, but ultimately you don't really have any idea what you're going to do. You're going to blag your way into it, and you'll be like, yeah, I can do it. Cool. All right, sweet. It's basically what's happened with Kieran McKenna. Kieran McKenna, clearly a very astute and rated, very highly rated academy coach, someone who's very studious. I think that's the big thing I've taken from this article is how Kieran McKenna has gained a lot of respect from a lot of people, a lot of coaches and players in terms of how he approaches his training, in terms of the study he does behind it, the research and the knowledge base of Kieran McKenna is very, very good. That's something that I've not seen anything really to suggest otherwise. However, if we scroll down here, and blah, 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 blah. Those who have observed McKenna's work saying he's more comfortable working with younger players. That's where his experience has been. Go figure. And this bit down here, my God, where is it? Annoying. Blah, blah, blah. There you go. That's the thing I was trying to go to. Putting theory into practice, stimulating senior players and getting them to buy into your methods is a very different challenge. And I believe this is where Kieran McKenna has struggled at Manchester United so far. As I said, he's been very, very studious, very, very good knowledge base of what he knows and understands. But applying that to real coaching situations with players like Ronaldo, with players like Varane, with players at Manchester United, I think that's been where he has struggled. And that is where his weakness lies. If we go back up here and we see a little bit more, saying McKenna's got very high standards technically, physically, and tactically, and he definitely snaps at players if they're not delivering what he wants. But clearly, he's not maybe going to be getting the responses about that. And this part here quite annoys me. McKenna is assisted most closely on a day-to-day basis by Michael Carrick. There's no real mention of Mike Phelan inside this article. In fact, I had to scroll the whole way bloody down here. Blah, 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 here. Phelan, who worked previously under Sir Alex Ferguson, seldom takes the lead on training. Now, I've spoken about Phelan in depth really on this channel. And I know how good Phelan has been over the course of his career at Manchester United, both as a player and as an assistant manager. And he's helped through some of our greatest periods. But Mike Phelan right now, in my opinion, he was a really important player. Sorry, a really important part of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's coaching staff in the early parts of Solskjaer's tenure. I think he really helped him establish and re-establish the culture and the foundations of the club. But Phelan hasn't been able to help Solskjaer take it further forward because that's not part of his repertoire. He's not helping or getting involved directly in training. Solskjaer is trying to basically sit there in the office and look down on the training ground like Fergie did, but his coaches are McKenna and Carrick, and neither of them have got somebody more experienced to look up to because Mike Phelan's not really there doing the job. So that, for me, is a big, big, big problem that has always been there. Always been there at Manchester United. This part I find staggering. It always has staggered me. Given the number of former midfielders on United's coaching staff, it is a mystery to some that a defensive midfielder was not prioritised in the summer over Jadon Sancho, a right winger who has been a peripheral figure thus far, when it was obvious United were lacking a specialist in that position. Could you imagine if Manchester United over the last 2 years hadn't spent that much time chasing Jadon Sancho and had spent that time chasing, I don't know, Wilfred Ndidi, Frank Kessie, if you want to go there, any other player, Tchouaméni. We'd spent that long and we got that player in instead of Jadon Sancho. How much different our football would have been. It's why I said the entire way through that the biggest priority of our summer was a defensive midfielder. And all of our problems are still there, despite us signing Jadon Sancho, because he's hardly played. I mean, that's baffling in itself. But signing Jadon Sancho has done nothing for this United team. 0% so far. It's not improved us. It's not made us worse. We're the exact same because he's not being played. It would have all changed if we had signed that defensive midfielder. And for me, that's probably the greatest mistake. If there's two big reasons why Manchester United this season haven't progressed, number one, we lost the Europa League final. In Gdansk, that game was where Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was going to win his first piece of silverware as Manchester United manager. It was going to build on the successes of Manchester United's improved performances, and it's going to end in silverware. It's going to get that monkey off his back. Boom. That would have been a big moment for Solskjaer. We didn't do it. Therefore, we slightly went in reverse, right? Number one. And number two, we didn't sign that defensive midfielder. And without signing that defensive midfielder, anything that Solskjaer has wanted to do with this team, we have not been able to do with this team, because we've had to play two in the middle. Because anytime we play one in the middle, whether it's Matic, whether it's McTominay, or whether it's Fred, we're far too open, because none of them are good enough for Manchester United, not in that singular role. So I think that's a huge problem. The two main reasons why we've not really kicked on this season is those two. Losing the Europa League final, not signing a defensive midfielder, in my opinion anyway. Let's go down here and continue reading this article. It was certain that this is a bit of a horrible anti-article, but it's the truth. It was certainly a little alarming to hear in the build-up to the Liverpool humiliation that United's coaching staff felt they had a plan to stifle Jurgen Klopp's side after working heavily on a team shape, only to be taken apart from the 5th minute onwards. United were crap in that Liverpool game. I mean, that's an understatement of the century. But this last point here is why I wanted to discuss this article here about Kieran McKenna. Whether any of Europe's other so-called super clubs would have entrusted someone as inexperienced as McKenna with such responsibility is a question that will continue to be picked over. That, though, is not on McKenna, a man with plenty to offer and still plenty to prove. And that's why I wanted to do this article here and speak about this article, because I think maybe I've been a little bit too harsh on Kieran McKenna. I think he's going to go on to have a stellar career inside coaching. I think with Kieran McKenna, he was never going to reject the job of being the main first-team coach at United when it was offered to him. It's a dream situation. He got to the door about 2, 3, 4 years too early, inexperienced, and he's not been able to learn on the role, because in a job of that magnitude, you don't really get the opportunity. He's been given the time to do it, but there's that because he hasn't got Solskjaer and Solskjaer's gaze in the back of his head, making sure that he's doing everything correctly. He hasn't got anybody to really reference. No one's really saying he's doing a good or a bad job, because that's not Solskjaer's style of management. He's been allowed to continue with this sort of limp progress. And I think that's more down to the fact that Manchester United's structure is wrong, rather than McKenna being a bad coach. I think McKenna, if you put him in a specialist situation of what he knows and he's good at, I think he'd be very good. And I think McKenna clearly strikes me as he's still at the young stage of his coaching career. He needs someone there with the real experience to come alongside him, rather than two mates in McKenna and Carrick, both trying to learn off each other. And then they've got no real reference point. Anna, what are you saying here, sir? Imagine this. If Donny isn't on his plans and he plays good football, suddenly he's not up to his best, what happens? Put Donny on the bench. Donny was never in Solskjaer's plans. Never has been. Never will be. I don't personally think. And Jody, you're saying, sup, Sam, where's my shirt? Well, your shirt's here. Right here, mate. So make sure you enter as a member, as you already have. Make sure everyone else, you join. Join Jada. Anybody who's a member on YouTube or on Facebook automatically gets entered into a weekly draw to win one of these shirts. Carlos would have been a better choice than Mike, says Top Dog. Obviously, speaking about Carlos Queiroz. And I've said this before. I don't want Manchester United to be looking backwards to go forwards at any point now. We shouldn't be looking at Carlos Queiroz. We shouldn't be talking about René Mudenstein. We shouldn't be talking about anything like that. Now, that might jar against basically the blueprint of how to run a football club. And that's at Ajax. Because Mark Overmars, he's the director of football. Evan van der Sar, he's the chief executive. So what Ajax have always done is put former players inside strong positions inside the club and built that way, so that the word from the top is the same as the word from the bottom. Manchester United, the word at the top is in America, and it's all about the dollar sign. That's not ever going to change at Manchester United until they get rid of the Glazers, and we know that. So it's whoever comes in as a coach, whoever comes in as a coaching staff, immediately swimming upstream at United. It's a big concern that a lot of you have about Ten Hag, and I've covered that, and I will cover that in quite a few videos next week. As I said, there's going to be some serious Ten Hag content coming on this channel, regardless of what happens in that game against City. Let's see if we can get 13 more subscribers before the end of the stream. See if we can get to 210, 350. Let's hit 350 before the end of the stream. Why not? It's Friday, people. And before I do finish, you let me know where you're watching from, town and the country. I'll try and get a couple more of you added on to the map. Linville, what are you saying here? Why not, Sam? They are levels ahead of the coaching staff now. Who? I don't know who you're talking about there. Edwin van der Sar would have come to United if he was appointed. I don't think Van der Sar is going to be leaving. I don't think Van der Sar is going to be leaving Ajax anytime soon. He's worked himself into a brilliant position through hard work and graft and learning. And he's got everything around him in his native country. I don't think Van der Sar is leaving. Sam, and what you're saying here, very good point about McKenna, but to be expected when our board have no connection to the football whatsoever. We might as well be a factory as far as they is concerned. But I would say that's just as much down to the fact that that's poor from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as it is from the board. In fact, that's more down to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because he's got his own. Solskjaer could bring in any coach he wanted, anybody he wanted. He could have brought into the club and said, "Look, this is who I want as my first team coach." What Solskjaer did was simply take the two coaches in McKenna and Carrick, who were there under Mourinho, and bring them in. He then worked with Mike Phelan. Mike Phelan was who he rang straight away. On the day that he was offered the job, he rang Mike Phelan. That was his immediate thought, said, I need Mike Phelan. And I think that worked for, as I said, it worked for the start of Solskjaer's career, but not towards the end. Matt, I can see you here spamming the comments away, getting in front of everybody. But because you've got the best car seat in the world, I'll get you on here, sir. Denver, Colorado. You're coming on the map, sir. Denver, Colorado. Boom. On the map. Welcome aboard, Matt. And let's get one more on here. Where have we got? Oh, we've got Lynette watching from Reading in England. What a place. What a place. Reading in England. Berkshire, darling. Berkshire. Very nice. Hey, look. David, you're saying there's a good chance we win tomorrow. Everyone, get firing your predictions now in the comments. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow? Do you think United will win? You let me know. Yes or no. But I'm nervous about tomorrow. I've been nervous about watching United for a long, long time now, if I'm being completely honest. That nervous energy is kind of, it's expected going in. Even if United were playing very well, we'd all be going into that game tomorrow nervous, right? So I don't think that's strange, but there's an odd feeling. There's a really odd. I had a really odd feeling going into the Liverpool game. I've got a really odd feeling going into this game now against City, because it's the sacking clouds looming over Old Trafford. The executioner there with the blade sharpened for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I don't like that. I really don't like that feeling, if I'm being completely honest. Aaron, you think it's going to be 1-1 City 4-2 win, says Matt. 2-1 win for United. And Anaj, you're saying 3-0 would buy man in the match. You're going for a buy masterclass. Klein, you're saying 3-1. 2-2 draw, says, where are we? Ooh, there was a 2-2 draw there. It's disappeared. Oh, there it is. Says Capu. Maguire's going to cost us. Hey, look, let's find out what goes on tomorrow. Make sure, everybody. Look, Paula, you're saying 3-2. Ronaldo with a late winner. Could you imagine Ronaldo comes up with another late winner? Jesus. Make sure you join me tomorrow at 11:20 in the United Legacy Arms for the match build-up show before that City game. I might do another video later today. I'll decide. I'm not sure yet. I might do a reaction to the press conference. I might do a different question altogether. But look, thank you all very much for joining in. I hope you've enjoyed the interactive Friday show. We've got a couple more of you. We've got Reading is on the map, Denver's on the map, Gothenburg's on the map, and Perth is on the map. You're all on the map. Thank you all very much for joining in. Luke, congratulations if you are watching. If you're not watching, I'll make sure that you get this shirt. I'll drop you a DM and get your address. Everybody else, if you're already a member on YouTube or Facebook, you're already entered into this week's draw to win the Ronaldo shirt. It's going to go out next Friday. We've got another 210k giveaway going. This lovely, if I may say so myself, this lovely 1996 shirt with Old Trafford on it. It's an absolute beautiful shirt. Also, welcome to the first mascot of the United People's TV. This little gorgeous number. You need to send me a name for him. There's going to be giving away another one of those, and going to be giving away one of those as part of the 210k giveaway. Mate, it's all popping off. It's all popping off here. And Sam, that's nearly it's as good as my name, but twice as good. Sam, you've been entered into the draw. Good luck. And you're watching from Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. Big up to you, mate. Have a good Friday, everybody. You're entered into the draw, Sam. Good luck to you in winning the shirt. Good luck to everybody. I'll speak to you tomorrow morning in the Legacy Arms. I might speak to you later on today as well, but have a cracking Friday. And I hope United win tomorrow. Please, United win. Please.